She uses different words to describe it, of course, and she doesn't have the same depth on it as Louisa does. But she calls it the mystical incarnation. And remember, this is not buried somewhere in the middle of her writings. This is, as Father Murray Philipon says, the main thrust of her writings. Mystics would never be beatified if the main thrust of her writing was false. So we can be absolutely sure of this. That we are incontestably in a new era of spirituality. The greatest holiness possible, far greater even than spiritual marriage, is available to the asking forever. Conchita also has revelations on the era, and I want to briefly take a look at that, even though I want to say more on the era, which I decided to come before for my next talk, my last talk. Just since we're on the topic of Conchita, I do want to take a quick look at what she was told about that. Jesus tells Conchita, on sending to the world a new Pentecost, I want it inflamed, purified, illuminated, purified by the light and fire of the Holy Spirit. The last stage of the world must be marked very specially by the effusion of the Holy Spirit. He must reign in hearts in the entire world. Not so much for the glory of this person, as for the making the Father love and bearing testimony of me, although his glory is that of the whole Trinity. Tell the Pope that it is my will that in the whole Christian world the Holy Spirit be implored to bring peace and his reign into hearts. Only this Holy Spirit will be able to renew the face of the earth. He will bring light, union, and charity to hearts. May the whole world have recourse to this Holy Spirit, since the day of his reign has arrived. This last stage of the world belongs very especially to him. May the church preach him. May souls love him. May the whole world be consecrated to him. Peace will come, along with a moral and spiritual reaction, greater than the evil by which the world is tormented. And that's something to always remember throughout the chastisements. The glory of the era that comes after far outshines the evil that we have to endure up to that point. Continuing with Jesus' words to Conchita. May all at once this Holy Spirit begin to be called on with prayers, penances, and tears, with the ardent desire is coming. He will come. I will send him again clearly, manifesting his effects, which will astonish the world and impel the church to holiness. I want to return to the world in my priests. I want to renew the world of souls by making myself seeming priests. Finally, one day, not too far away, the center of my church at St. Peter's, there will take place the consecration of the world to the Holy Spirit. And the graces of this divine Spirit will be showered on the blessed Pope who will make it. It is my desire that the universe be consecrated to the divine Spirit, and that he may spread himself over the earth in a new Pentecost. So, next talk, I have to go into more details on that. This new Pentecost is being prophesied. But let's return now to the gift, as it was revealed in 20th century mystics. Let's move on to St. Faustina. St. Faustina, her revelations are as true as you could possibly get, as I mentioned. There's really no possible way to doubt something in her revelation. So I always like to take a look at those when I'm talking about the gift in 20th century private revelation. I'm just going to take a look at a couple quick quotes. I go into much more detail on this in my book if you're interested in more, but I want to talk about this unprecedented grace of union with God that Faustina was told about. She said, the soul receiving this unprecedented grace of union with God cannot say that it sees God face to face, because even here, there is a very thin veil of faith, but so very thin that the soul can say that it sees God and talks with him. It is divinized. God allows the soul to know how much he loves it, and the soul sees that better and holier souls than itself have not received this grace. Therefore, it is filled with holy amazement, which maintains it in a deep humility, and it steeps itself in its own nothingness in holy astonishment. And the more it humbles itself, the more closely God unites himself with it, descends into it. In one moment, the soul knows God and drowns in him. It knows the whole depth of the unfathomable one. St. Faustina is specifically saying that this is an unprecedented grace of union. He doesn't use terms lightly like that. Unprecedented means it hasn't happened before. But there's also a key here, which is why I like to share this quote. She says that when you receive this grace, you are amazed, because you see that better and holier souls than yourself have not received. And I think that's a key to understanding one of the first dilemmas that people have when they learn about the divine will. They think, how on earth could I be offered such a great gift when these great saints weren't offered in the past? And the key there is to remember, it doesn't mean that you're greater. If you receive the gift of living in the divine will, it doesn't mean you're greater than St. Francis or something. It just means you've received a greater gift. We have to be careful to draw that distinction. So we should never go comparing saints and think, oh, this saint must be greater because he lived when the gift was available than this saint. That's not our job to compare the greatness of saints like that. Also, St. Joseph is the greatest saint after the Blessed Virgin Mary. That's church teaching. He lived well before the gift. Just think about the Eucharist. The Eucharist was not received by St. Joseph. It was not received by any of the Old Testament patriarchs. That doesn't mean that someone who has received the Eucharist is better than Moses or Abraham or David. That's not how it works. It just means that we've been offered a greater gift and that we need to accept that with gratitude and humility. Okay. So now that that distinction has been drawn, let me return now to St. Faustina. And for the sake of time, I'm going to skip a few quotes that I wanted to share. But she says, "O divine will, you are the delight of my heart, the food of my soul, the light of my intellect, and the omnipotent strength of my will. For when I unite myself with your will, O Lord, your power works through me and takes the place of my feeble will." She's clearly saying that the will of God can actually take the place of our will. And remember, this doesn't mean that our will is annihilated. We're not advocating quietism here or anything like that. Our wills remain, but Jesus is the operation of the divine will replaces the operation of the self-will. Faustina also has this mysterious passage about the trans-consecration of the self. And I think this is a beautiful name for the gift of living in the divine will. In one of her diary entries, Faustina says, "I realized I was entering into communion with the incomprehensible majesty. I felt that God was waiting for my word, for my consent. Then my spirit immersed itself in the Lord, and I said, 'Do with me as you please. I subject myself to your will. As of today, your holy will shall be my nourishment.' Suddenly, when I consented to the sacrifice with all my heart and all my will, God's presence pervaded me. My soul became immersed in God and was inundated with such happiness that I cannot put in writing even the smallest part of it. I felt that His majesty was enveloping me. I was extraordinarily fused with God. The great mystery took place during that adoration, a mystery between the Lord and myself. And the Lord said to me, 'You are the delight of my heart. From today on, every one of your acts, even the smallest, will be a delight in my eyes, whatever you do.' At that moment, I felt trans-consecrated. My earthly body was the same, but my soul was different. God was now living in it with the totality of His delight." So she doesn't say transubstantiation itself, but she doesn't want to imply that in transubstantiation, the substance of the bread disappears, is gone, and is replaced with the substance of Jesus Christ. You don't disappear with the gift, but the gift does become the animating principle of your soul. And transconsecration itself is a beautiful name for that, I think. There's many other passages where, in St. Faustina's Revelations, speak of this, but again, I need to start moving along here for the sake of time and get back to Luisa's Revelations, because as I said at the beginning, we've got work to do. We've got to receive this gift, and Father Cassell gave great teachings on that, and please take to heart everything he said. I'll try in my talk to go into some more details on that from Luisa's Revelations. And let me take a look first at what we need to do in order to make room for the divine will, just to renounce our self-will. Two wills cannot reign in one soul. So let's take a look at that. Jesus says, "Beyond this, to give you my divine will, it is necessary that you give yours. Because two wills cannot reign inside of one heart. They would war with each other, and yours would be an obstacle to mine. And therefore it would not be free to do what it wants. And I, in order to make mine free, with so many instances, I ask you for yours." Two kings cannot reign in the same kingdom. So we need to, I saw a bumper sticker once. If God is your co-pilot, has anyone seen this? Switch seats. Because That's, I think, what he's saying. Let God be the pilot. And you're there, so you're cooperating, definitely. But you need him to be the pilot of your life. He needs to reign. He wants our wills to little. He specifically said to Louisa, I want your will little, not an item. This is the same thing he said the same to us of the Sue, which is why when she revelation, she didn't receive as many messages from Jesus, but her teachings prepare us perfectly for this. St. Therese teaches us how to be nothing. She teaches us nothingness and the littleness of will, being like a child. And that's what's required to renounce our own selfless. Jesus tells Louisa, before us there is no greater sacrifice than a human will that, while having life, does not exercise it, in order to give free life to my fiat. This, however, is a great profit for the soul, because she gives a will that is human and receives a divine one. She gives a will that is finite and limited and receives one that is infinite and without limit. So this can be the easiest or the hardest thing. It's as easy or as hard as we make it. It's not a specific amount of fasting that you have to do. It's not a specific amount of prayers you have to say. It's a renunciation. It's going to be done in a moment. You can do it right now and it can be complete. Or you can fight against it for your whole life and take on all of these enormous sacrifices and penances and still never actually do the renouncing. I'm not saying don't do sacrifices and penances, please do. But it needs to be built on above all this foundation of renouncing our self-will for the divine. And I can't help but use my 2-year-old as a really bad example for this, because he can hit it, and I wrote about this in my book, he can fall down and cut his head pretty badly, he could be bleeding and not even care. But if you don't let him wear the shirt that he wants to wear, it is the end of the world. It is like a hurricane. But it would be so easy for him to just kind of, okay, I'll wear that other shirt, it's fine, this one's dirty, I can't wear anymore. But there's no renunciation sometimes in even the greater sacrifices. And God, yes, he loves great sacrifices, but above all, he simply wants our will. And that, when we give him our will, he will give us his will. Let's take another look at the diagram here. The divine will and the human are two spiritual powers. The divine, immense, with unreachable power. The human, little power. But for however little has its power, and both being spiritual, the one can pour itself into the other and form one single life. All the power is in the volition, the will. And being a spiritual power, it has the space of being able to place inside of its will the good that she wants and also the evil. In fact, what the will wants, that is what one finds inside of herself. She wants self-esteem, glory, love, pleasures, riches. She will find inside of her volition the life of these things. She wants the life of our will in hers, wanted, commanded by us with so many sides. If she truly wants it, she will have the great good, possessing our will as life. And if this could not be, the sanctity of living in my volition would be a difficult, almost impossible sanctity. And I do not know neither to teach difficult things, nor do I want impossible things. Rather, it is my usual way to make it easy, for as much as it is possible for the preacher, the most arduous things and the hardest sacrifices. The human will possesses with indelible characters everything it does and wants to do. And if the memory forgets, the will loses nothing. It contains a deposit of all of its acts, unable to disperse anything. Therefore, it can be said that the whole of man is in his will. If the will is holy, even the most indifferent things are holy for him. But if it is evil, maybe even good itself changes for him into a perverted act. So Jesus here assures Louisa, and through her, all of us, that it is not difficult to renounce the self-will, that he gives grace to make it easy, if only that is what we want to do. So the advice that I always give when people ask, how? You don't so much need to hear how. You already know it. You need to hear when. And the when is always. Every moment of every day. If you're always conversing with him, if you're always handing your will over to him, he accepts that. It's just, you already know what to do. You just need to remember to do it more often. I really believe that's the key. There's no magical procedures, no Gnostic secrets. It is entirely based on the sincere desire to receive, as all grace is needed. And this, of course, is the grace of graces. All right. If we've sincerely handed over our wills to God, we are indeed ready to receive the gift. But how quickly and powerfully we receive it and grow in it is going to be determined by the degree of our desire for it and the fervency with which we ask for it. The best way to inflame our desire, so if we can't ask for it more fervently, is to consider how glorious it is. If you want to desire something more, you start learning about how glorious it is. It's the same way with the gift. Now that's basically the task of 5,000 pages of Revelation that Jesus gave Louisa, so I above all recommend just diving into them. You can go through them from front to back, or you can open them up randomly whenever you want. You can listen to them on audio. That's what I like to do while I'm working and driving. Just dive in, and you will build this desire. Jesus tells Louisa that every single revelation he gives, every time we read these revelations, it's like a blow given to the human will. So if you find your human will very difficult to deal with, keep reading about these truths. Each truth you read about is like a blow that your human will receives to make room for the divine will. So I will, however, not leave that task entirely for sometime later. Let's try and build up some desire for the gift right now. And I'm going to try and do that by reading just a couple more quotes from what I find to be some of the most inspiring passages in the Book of Heaven. And it's through reminding ourselves of these inspirational things, not that we want to dwell only on the pretty and beautiful stuff. We have to take it all, hours of passion as well. We have to take in everything. But still, we should regularly remind ourselves of the beautiful, glorious, inspiring, motivating things that Jesus tells Louisa about the gift. That's why he told her about it. We're not doing any favors by ignoring it. So let's take a look. My daughter, you must know that as soon as a creature truly decides that she wants to live in my divine will and never, at any cost, never do her own, then my fiat with unspeakable love forms the seeds of its life in the depth of the soul. One who possesses my will possesses everything. We have to remember, as we're reading these next quotes here about the glory of the gift,